Hi everybody, happy Monday. I'm Holley Grainger. I am a registered dietitian and mom, and I am so excited to be here in Birmingham, Alabama, my hometown, in the Southern Living Studios. I am going to be sharing with you 3 simple shortcut summer dessert recipes. Now, I'm sure all of you have already flipped through this month's issue of Southern Living, and you've seen the gorgeous berry desserts and the shortcut ideas for your 4th of July picnic. This takes it a step further. We're talking super, super short. The idea is that you can use what you already have on hand. You can use farmers market fresh berries and make beautiful patriotic desserts with just a couple of simple ingredients. So I want to start by making a pomegranate macerated berry dessert. Now, macerated is just a fancy name for when you allow your berries to sit in juices and that lets their natural juices come out. But I'm keeping this alcohol-free. Normally for macerated desserts, you would let it sit in some type of liqueur, and I'm just using pomegranate juice. I love pomegranate juice because it gives it a nice tart flavor, which complements the sweet berries. If you don't have pomegranate juice, feel free to use orange juice or just whatever juice you may have on hand. It's just an easy way to bring out the sweetness. Now, the berries are already super sweet, but I like to add just a little bit of sugar. This helps to bring out even more of those berries' juices. And then some fresh lemon juice, just to brighten that flavor a bit. So I have about a cup of pomegranate juice, and to that I'll add about 1.5 cups to 2 cups of fresh berries. So since we have 4th of July right around the corner, I'm going to use my favorite red and blue berries. So just chop some strawberries and add that to the mixture. Now, what I love about this dessert in particular is because the berries sit in your juices for just a little while, you can do it, let them sit for anywhere from 20 minutes to about 8 hours. The longer they sit, the more the pomegranate juice thickens up into a nice syrup. But this is a really great way to use berries that may be just about to turn, almost to the point where you would say, I don't really want to eat that anymore. It's just a little bit too ripe. Well, instead of wasting those berries, this is the perfect juice for it. So you want to add some strawberries, and then I have nice plump and juicy blueberries. Then I'm going to add. So I have probably about 1/2 cup of strawberries. I'll add about 1/2 cup of blueberries, just a few more. 1/2 cup of raspberries. There we go. And then, you guessed it, about 1/2 cup of blackberries. Then you just stir everything together. So for those of you just tuning in, we are making a pomegranate macerated berry dessert. And it's simple, fresh, and again, so easy. Now, like I said, you use 1 cup of pomegranate juice and about 2 cups of berries. So you can use whatever ones you have on hand. If you only have strawberries, that's fine. Just use all strawberries. All right, so mix that up, and then I like to let this sit in the refrigerator for about 20 minutes to about 8 hours. But because we're doing some Facebook Live magic, we're going to pretend like this has had a chance to sit already. So once you've had a chance to let this sit, it gets nice and syrupy and super sweet. You can get a fancy glass or even just a plain bowl. But of course, we're going to take this simple idea and just dress it up, take it to the next level. And then I like to use vanilla ice cream. Of course, again, you can just use whatever you have on hand, but use some vanilla ice cream. Spoon that into your fun festive martini glass. There we go. A little bit more. And then I'll add the berries to the top. So I want to hear from you guys. I'm going to wipe my hands off really fast. I want to hear from you guys. You may not even realize we always go back and read all of your comments. We love to know where you're from. So if you're checking in, let us know where you're checking in from. And then we love your questions. We actually will be answering questions right now during this live cast. So if you have a question about this recipe, about berries, if you just want to share what you love doing with fresh berries, or maybe you grow some in your backyard or have a favorite farmer's market, let us know. I'll be happy to share and talk about that, but certainly I love to answer your questions. So I'm just going to add a little bit more of this juice, and it's just that easy and simple. All right, there we go. Beautiful, and so fresh. Now, if you don't want to add the ice cream, maybe you can add some Greek yogurt and use that instead. It makes a perfect breakfast, or just eat the berries as is. So easy. I actually love keeping something like this in my refrigerator for a couple of days. It's a delicious topping for oatmeal in the morning for breakfast. So we'll give this one more little spoon, one more little topping of raspberry, and call it a day with this dessert. So I'm going to set this one to the side. Brennan, do we have any questions coming in yet?
We do.
All right.
Someone asked if you could use Cool Whip instead of ice cream.
Absolutely. You definitely could use Cool Whip or maybe whipped cream or make your own whip topping. Such an easy idea. So you could do that. You could put the berries in the bottom and put the Cool Whip on the top. You even could add pound cake to this. So let me get my place clean here. So if you added some pound cake in your glass, or maybe in, let's see, do I have it? Yes, something like this. I love this little berry bowl or an ice cream bowl. You could put some pound cake in the bottom, the fruit on top, and some Cool Whip. So this makes a perfect segue. Thank you to whoever asked that to let me bring up the topic of pound cake, because the next recipe actually uses pound cake. And what's great about this is I know some of you have probably the most delicious pound cakes. I know my mother-in-law does. And I'm keeping my fingers crossed that she is watching this and will make it for the 4th of July, hint, hint, Sally. So fingers crossed for that. She made it last time we were together for Memorial Day, so hopefully she'll make it again. But if not, if you don't have a mother-in-law that makes a delicious pound cake, then you can also cheat. I'm all about shortcuts and buy one from the grocery store. So I have one right here. Let me grab it. Lots of props and prep today, but what's great is all of these ingredients, there aren't many here, can make so many different types of dessert. Now, I love making recipes in a mason jar. That's kind of the fun, trendy thing to do these days. And it really is perfect if you are going on a picnic. We are going to spend 4th of July at the lake, so this is a perfect dessert that I can make ahead. Then if we go out onto the boat, pack it in a cooler, and then it'll be ready to eat. So let me grab one more ingredient here. And again, this is just using some yogurt that you have on hand. I'm all about keeping it simple these days. I have 2 little girls, so making it practical, finding healthy ingredients, and keeping it easy is what I'm all about. All right, so I'm using pound cake here, but you could easily use angel food cake if you would like. Now, all I'm going to do is cut this into just a couple of small squares. So this is a berry trifle that I'm making in a mason jar, which is great for portability and for making a head. All right, so no fancy knife skills here. We're just cutting it into squares, no big deal. So I have my small mason jar. You can use any size that you like. I like these little small ones for portion control. And so then sometimes it's all about the layering, because you want to start with a Greek yogurt. Again, you could use Cool Whip. It's just something creamy on the bottom. So I like to put my Greek yogurt on the bottom. And of course, you know, the dietitian in me is saying, oh, Greek yogurt, awesome, because now we can have our dessert with a little pop of protein too. So put on my dietitian hat for this one really fast. So I'm adding some Greek yogurt to the bottom, and then all you have to do is layer with some cake cubes. Probably add just about 3 cake cubes here. And then for this recipe, I'm going to use raspberries and blackberries. This recipe is on my blog, and for the blog, I used peaches and blackberries. But again, it's about whatever you have on hand to make this. There's no right or wrong way to do it. That's the beauty of these recipes. So I have one layer here. I'm going to make one more layer. That way it just packs it all in and lets those flavors have plenty of opportunity to blend and meld, just making it so delicious. So we're going all, oops, I forgot my blackberries. Red, white, and blue for you here. So we have our blackberries, raspberries, cake, and then we'll just do one more layer. Now you certainly can leave these open and serve them in the mason jar if you're not packing them in a picnic. You can just serve as is. That way you can kind of layer them in the top, layer them right out of the top, and let the berries come through. I'll show you in just a minute. So we're gonna add a little bit of cake. So we have our second layer of yogurt, a few little cubes of pound cake.
We have a quick question.
Oh yes, tell me while I'm making this.
How far in advance can you make these ahead?
Okay, so I love to make these in ahead up to 3 days. And I'll tell you, when I made this probably about 2 weeks ago. I actually did this for a television spot in Birmingham, Alabama. I made these with blackberries and peaches. And I hate to waste food. And of course, who wants to waste dessert? So the ones that I made on air, I brought home, left them in the fridge for about 3 days, ended up making them or eating them a couple days later, and they still tasted perfect. So I would say up to about 3 days. But again, you can just layer them like these. If you want to serve it just like this, you have the beautiful berries in the top, or you can add your top, smash that down just a little bit, and leave it in the refrigerator for up to 3 days. Again, it's so easy and so simple. So I'm going to move this out of the way so you can see these two fun patriotic desserts. And I want to show you, I almost feel like this is cheating to call it a recipe, but I will just because it's a fun and simple idea. Now, I have 2 little girls, 2 and 4, and they love popsicles. I love popsicles. What I don't love about popsicles is that often the ones that you buy in the store are filled with added sugar, artificial color, artificial ingredients, and beyond all of that, we have a major problem with drip issues and having small come aparts with drips. So for those of you that have children, you probably are nodding your head yes, because popsicles in this heat, especially here in Alabama where it's almost oppressive these days, it gets really, really warm and hot. So I have found a fun, simple way to make no drip popsicles. And it really is so easy. All you have to do, this is almost like cheating, is take watermelon, put a little stick in the bottom, and freeze it. So easy, perfect, delicious. I actually had this long conversation with my daughter Ellie about the fact that this was watermelon, and she didn't understand that it was frozen fruit. She's like, no, Mommy, these are popsicles. So I just said, okay, yes, they are popsicles. So let me show you how to do this really fast. This is, again, so easy. You can't mess this up. Such a fun and simple trick. So just take your knife, and you want to take this, just make a little hole in the bottom of your watermelon. Again, watch your fingers, but just right in the center, cut that tough part of the rind off right there. And then take a craft stick, popsicle stick, whatever you'd like to call it, and just stick that right in. Sometimes you have to work it a little bit. It may take 1 or 2 times. Sometimes you have to dig in a little bit to make a slit. And then just dig that right in. Well, there we go. And it sticks right in. It makes a perfect little popsicle. There we go. So easy and fun. And then I just love to layer this on parchment paper when I put it in the freezer. That way it doesn't stick. So, again, let me show you. You just stick it right in and add your stick. One more fun and creative thing that you can do when it comes to fruit, and we're just going all natural with fruit here, is to make little skewers. And of course, now that it is 4th of July is right here upon us, I love making little frozen berry skewers. So I'll set these here, clear off some of this cake off my board, and show you quickly how to make these skewers so that you have just one more concept and one more idea for your 4th of July festivities. Now, if you're going to the lake or you're going to the beach, let us know. We want to hear what you guys are doing. We love keeping in touch with our audience. Like I said, we read everything that you share and tell us, and that really just gives us more opportunity to know what you guys like and what you want to see in the future. So, all you have to do to make these simple skewers is you take a banana, just peel the banana. About to break into a cheerleading thing. Peel your banana, take a bite. All right, sorry. Little throwback to 5th grade cheerleading here. All right, so slice your bananas, probably half an inch slices. Just set that aside. Watch out for your knife. And then use any kind of pick. You can use a coffee stir that's sturdy enough if you have little ones and you're worried about the pointy edge. And then just take some fruit, a piece of red fruit, raspberry, cherries would be delicious. Of course, strawberries work really well. They're delicious right now. Skewer your strawberry, then thread the banana through, and then just add a couple of blueberries onto the end. And because it's fruit, and of course, as we know, fruit is packed with water, these actually freeze really fast. I popped my watermelon in the freezer about an hour ago, and it's been sitting out in the lights now, so you can't tell as much, but it's still frozen. So this is something that maybe the family is about to go out on the boat, go do something for a few hours. Let your little ones come in, help put this together, and you're all done. So I would definitely love to connect with you guys. As a mom, I love sharing simple and quick, healthy recipe ideas just like these on my blog, Holley Grainger Nutrition. Of course, you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, all over social media. And I'll have all of these ideas for you here. Southern Living will also be sharing these ideas with you. And just to kind of wrap it up quickly, we have our macerated berries over ice cream, our berry trifle mason jar shortcakes, and then these fun little festive frozen berry skewers, and of course our frozen watermelon popsicles. So many ideas, and it takes just minutes to make all of these from start to finish. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Southern Living's page in their newsletter, and certainly let me know what you loved if you make any of these recipes for the 4th of July. I would love to connect with you offline, and I'm always happy to answer questions. I hope all of you have a wonderful and safe 4th, and make sure to keep tuning into Southern Living for more recipes and ideas right here on Facebook. Happy 4th of July.